BoomWriter gives teachers a tool that helps their students focus on creative writing techniques, and students have fun in the process by blending their creative writing with social media technology. Joining me this morning from BoomWriter are Chris Twyman. He's founder and CEO, and also with us Ken Haynes, the co-founder and vice president of product development. Also with us this morning, Victoria Kwan, a sophomore at Boston Latin School, who is one of the participants in BoomWriter. Welcome to Urban Update, everyone. Thanks for coming in. Chris, let me start with you. Tell us, what is BoomWriter?
Well, I'm a dad, and my daughter was in school with Ken, who now works at BoomWriter, and I had an idea around collaborative creative writing and injecting that into the classroom, because kids basically today, the tools they use are still pen and paper, and the internet. They're on the internet all the time. So could we inject some of the excitement of the internet into the classroom? And basically BoomWriter allows kids to do what they do best, which is creative writing and reading in a competitive environment, and they produce books. So we give them the opportunity to be published alongside real guest authors. Fascinating. Now, Ken Haynes, you're the Vice President of Product Development. Talk to me about, I guess, the mechanics of this. What do you mean by competitive writing? I mean, how do you get kids to get involved in this? And it sounds like they like it. You've been very successful.
Very much so. It's a very basic premise where you have someone write one part and someone writes the next part and you build a story. Well, what we do with BoomWriter is that we have first parts of story, what we call story starts, and they're written by professional authors. So they're these very engaging first chapters of a story, if you will, and they build the story up to a certain point and then it stops. And then the kids take over from there. So then what happens is that all the students, they read this story start, and then they all get to write what happens next. So they go online and they write what they think should be the next part of the story. So there's a writing phase, and then what happens is that after a certain deadline, the teachers look at the work that they've submitted, and then it goes into a voting phase. So the kids then look at the work that their peers have produced. It's all anonymous. And then they vote on the piece that they like the best. And the one that receives the most votes becomes the next part of the story. And then it starts all over again. So the kids are then writing the next part, and it continues until the story is completed and they can buy a published book from there.
Fascinating. Now, Victoria Kwan, sophomore at Boston Latin High School, correct? Mm-hmm. You are participating in BoomWriter. You've written a chapter in a book. Mm-hmm. And what's the name of the book? It's a mystery?
The Case of the Missing Calaviglio.
Okay, and you wrote one chapter?
Chapter 4.
Chapter 4. So again, you and your classmates you're writing a book, and everybody writes a chapter, and anonymously they vote on your chapter to be part of the book, and it's part of a published book, right? Mm-hmm. Wow, that's amazing. How does it feel to be a published author?
It feels great. I mean, I'm glad that I'm able to contribute and give my ideas to a published book. And it feels great to actually accomplish something. And I never thought I would be able to write be able to contribute to a book.
I mean, the idea of doing something that competitive. What was that like when you were you trying to? Were you trying to beat the other kids, or? I know that running a race is one thing in sports, but here you are writing competitively. That must be quite interesting.
Yeah, I first heard about BoomWriter from my 8th grade teacher, and she announced to the whole class that this is a great opportunity to be part of BoomWriter. And first, people were a little unsure about whether they wanted to participate or not, because it was extra work for added to homework, and I wasn't sure either, because I wasn't sure whether I would have a good story to give. And in the end, they decided to reconsider and try it out. And I think partially because the teacher said it would be extra credit just to encourage the people to actually try it. And at the end, people continued to compete, but not because there was extra credit, but because they really enjoyed it.
Wow. Now, you've been doing this in schools, over 1,200 schools in 20 different countries. Yeah. But now, can an individual go online and get involved and participate and compete as well?
Sure. I mean, and we launched the Writing Club last year
to
do that. So the Writing Club the idea was, kids don't only want to write in the classroom, they want to write at home. So we give them the opportunity to write chapters alongside celebrity guest authors. So we just recently launched a book with Pebbles from Jammin' 94.5. I'm not a listener, but my kids are. So and that's the target audience. She started a story for us last week, and we've had already hundreds of kids signing up in the Boston area.
Well, Ken, I guess I'll give you the last word here. Where do you see this going? And I guess what it sounds really, really fun and exciting for the kids. I guess what would you like to say about BoomWriter, and I guess to sell it, to get other kids involved, and where you want to go with it?
Well, Chris started out saying he's a dad, right? I'm a teacher. I'm also a dad, but I'm a teacher. And the reason why I left teaching to pursue, and promote BoomWriter is because I think it really can work for so many teachers in so many different areas. Classroom teachers, special education teachers, gifted and talented challenge coaches. It can work in so many different settings within schools. So many different kids love it, and it's a very engaging way for kids to learn. But then with our writing club, so we're going to be in 10,000 schools at the end of the year easily. But then with the writing club, that enables us to take it global and having kids participating in competitions all around the world.
Amazing. And the website is?
BoomWriter, www.boomwriter.com.
Okay, sounds fascinating, and congratulations on what you've done. Ken Haynes, Victoria Kwong, and Chris Twyman. Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you very
thanks.
much.
Well, she was best known as one of the youngest writers involved in the Harlem Renaissance. When Urban Update returns, I'll talk with the author who has captured the scope of Dorothy West's long life and career on Martha's Vineyard. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.